Hey guys, this is Afik. In this small series, we'll create a file uploader component. This one is going to be just for images, but you can do the same one to work with any sort of files, images, it doesn't really matter. The final component that I want to have is going to look something like that. Okay, so I have this image that says drag your images here. And if I click on the select file button, it's just an input field that you can select files from your computer. You can select multiple files and just open all of them. And you can also grab files from your computer and drag them over here. And you can also, if I'll refresh the page, you can see that if I take an image and hover over this component, the style is changed. And when I drop it, I get those buttons right here. Then I can select another file to upload, or I can grab more images from my desktop and drag them over here, or I can click upload and it will send all the images back to my server into the storage directory inside our Laravel project. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll open up my terminal and go into my code directory and create a new Laravel project. Let's call this one Uploader. Okay, and cd into the uploader directory and npm install all our dependencies and open it up in Visual Studio Code. Okay, now there's a little bit of cleanup that I want to do. Let's first go into the welcome.blade file and I can remove all the stylings from here. I don't need all the authentication header and all the links down here. And I'll give this content class an ID of app so we can target it with our Vue instance. I'll remove everything from here and all I want is just a component called app that we'll create in a moment. Next, let's go into our resources, assets.js, app.js, and change the example component name to be app, and also the file name right here. And let's visit this app.vue file, and inside our card body, I want to render the image uploader component that we'll create in a moment. Okay, let's create the file image uploader.vue and go back into our app.vue and import the component. And make sure we use that component inside our app component. Okay, let's go into our terminal and run npm run watch. And now we can start working on our Vue component. Okay, let's go into our image uploader and create a Vue component. And we'll give it a root class of uploader. And open up the design to see what we need. Okay, we need one wrapper element. And this is the uploader div that we have right here. Inside we need an image tag to be this arrow right here, but we're going to grab this one from Font Awesome, so it's not really going to be an image. Next we need this text right here and this or text, and we need another input to be an input of type file so we can select files into it. But you won't be able to style the default browser input, so we need to create a label and we'll style this one, and this label will point into our file input, so it will trigger it once we click on the label. Okay, so let's first go here and create an I tag. This one is going to have a class of fa cloud upload. Next we need the text drag your images here. Drag your images here. Let's do another div for the text or. And now we need a file input, so let's create a wrapper for this one. We'll do file input for a div. And then we have a label for file, and this one will have the text select a file. Next we need the input itself. This one will be of type file, and the ID must match the label for attribute, so it's going to be the same. And next we need to have the attribute multiple, so we need to make sure that we can select multiple files from our computer. And I have a typo here, multiple. And also let's create an onChange event and call the function called onInputChange. And let's implement this method. OnInputChange will get the event, and for now we'll do nothing. And let's see why my files are not changing. The relative model was not found. Image uploader. Okay, I see the name is wrong, so Image Uploader. Okay, now it should work. Yes, it is. Let's go back into our image uploader, save everything, and now let's visit our welcome.blade file. And I need to import my styles. We'll do a link. We need the asset CSS app.css, and we need the same for our script. So right down here, script, and the source. I missed the tag here. Source JS app.js. Okay, let's go visit our browser and refresh, and we have an example component and it works. Let's see what happened. Unknown custom element image uploader. Why is that? It should work. App.vue image uploader. Okay, now it should work, and it does. Okay, now the majority of this component is going to be the design itself. The functionality is not that complicated. You need to be able to drag files into it, and you need to change classes or styles based on the drag status at the moment. You need to make sure that the files appear inside the component once you drop files into it. And that's about it. Okay, so let's start designing this one to look a little bit more like an image uploader component and not just like a div with text. Okay, so our uploader will have a width of 100%. We need a background, and I'll try to make a blue one. The color of the text should be white. We'll do padding for this one, about 40 pixels and 15 pixels at the left and right. Text align everything to the center. Border radius of about 10 pixels. The border itself should be 3 pixels, not solid. Let's do dashed white. Let's look at the design again. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. Give this one a font size of about 20 pixels. And the position should be relative. Great. Let's take everything, go back into our component, and paste it down here. Refresh to make sure that all our changes saved, and it does. Now we need to make sure that we have the FA Cloud upload image that we want here, and this is a font awesome class, so we need to make sure we import this one at the welcome.blade page. So let's go here, and I'll just paste my link down here. This is a CDN for font awesome. Let's go back into the browser and refresh, and here is the image. Great. Okay, now we want this I tag to have font size something very big. Let's try 40 pixels. Let's look at the design again. We need something bigger. Let's try something like 85 pixels. Yeah, looks about right. Let's go back here, and I should have this font size. Okay, next we want to take care of the file input class. Let's look for this one. This is the one right here, and let's do width of about 200 pixels, and the margin should be auto, so it will be centered. Next we want the height to be fixed, so no more than, let's say, 68 pixels. Yeah, 68 is good, and the position should be relative as well. Let's grab all of this and put it down here. Now I want both the input and the label to have the same styling. So let's start with the label. Should be background white, and the color is the same blue that we have. This one. Width of 100%. Position is absolute. Left is 0. Top is 0. Padding is 10 pixels. The border radius is 4 pixels, and the margin top should be about 10 pixels, or even less. Let's do about 7, and the cursor will be pointer. Okay, and once we apply the same styles for both the label and the input, it should look as we expect. So let's go down here and add this one for the label and also for the input. And I want to make sure that the input will have a opacity of 0, and I want to make sure that it's going to be way back behind the label. So we'll give this one a z index of, let's say, -1 or even -2. Okay, let's look at the browser and refresh. Okay, looking good. Okay, now I want to make sure this component is a little bit wider. So let's go into our app.vue and change this one to 9. Refresh. Okay, now it looks better. Okay guys, this is it for this episode. In the next one, we're going to take care of all the drag and drop events and make sure we can select multiple files and upload and drag multiple files into our component, and also create an API method in our Laravel application to accept those files and store them on our server. All the code will be on my GitHub repo once this series is over. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.